Welcome back to my channel. We were in the series of strategic management, chapter 2, dynamics of competitive strategy. Previously in our series, we dealt with the concept of competitive strategy, the objectives of competitive strategy, what is the competitive strategy consist of. Then we further went towards the concept of landscape, competitive landscape, where we dealt with the steps involved in the competitive landscape. Further moving on, we learned the concept of strategic analysis required by the corporate level management to form a decision on the data they have collected as a base to form competitive strategy. This competitive strategy focuses on core competence and gaining competitive advantage, which will lead to attract more and more customers, and in turn will lead to beat the competitors in the market. So we'll further move on towards the concept of strategic analysis. Strategic analysis has two situational consideration. We already talked the external factors, that is industrial and competitive conditions, and the internal factors, which are the company's own competitive capabilities, internal capabilities. Kindly do not refer it as SWOT analysis. Do not use the term strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. It may be similar, but strategic analysis and SWOT are different. Okay. So that's what we have covered previously in the series. Well, further moving on, we will today dealt with new topics. The first topic we are going to take today is the issues to consider for strategic analysis. Strategic analysis have three major issues that we dealt while conducting or while doing strategic analysis. They are: first, time. Strategy evolves over a period of time. Strategy is not constant, it evolves over the period of time. It has revisions involved. If there is a strategy which is lacking behind during the course of time, then the management need to revise it. So a strategy cannot be fixed, it cannot be a standing plan. Remember the distinguish between policy is a standing plan, but strategy is not a standing plan. It is a single use plan. One single use, then it is disposed of, another strategy needs to be created. So a strategy evolves over the period of time. Strategy is highly flexible. Strategy is the result of a series of small decisions, management small decision taken over extended period of time. So strategy evolves over a period of time. It is a balance of external and internal factors. The external and internal factors which we dealt in strategic analysis, the two situational consideration, the management need to ensure that there is a balance between those factors. The internal factors, which are the capabilities of organization, is sufficient to beat the external factors or to gain competitive advantage in the industry. Strategic analysis involves a workable balance between diverse and conflicting internal and external consideration. So there is a balance which is essential to be created. So there must be a balance of these resources, balance, and lastly, risk. Strategic analysis has certain risks. Risk identify potential imbalance. Risk are potential imbalance, or what we say in normal parlance, the risk, and assess their consequences. So strategic analysis also identify potential risks, potential imbalances which may occur in the future. So a small mnemonic for it is T for time, B for balance, and R for risk. TBR, time, balance of internal external factors, and the risk involved. So issues to be considered for strategic analysis are TBR, time, balance between resources, and then risk. So strategy and environment. Then we will talk about the concept of strategic risk. What is strategic risk? We're dealing with the concept of strategic risk. So the two factors which involve in strategic risk are here on the horizontal axis, strategic risk is there, and on the vertical axis there is time involved. So risk can be due to internal and external factors. The balance, we need to ensure that there is a balance between these factors, and time can be for a short period of time or it can be a long term process. In strategic analysis, the principle of maintaining balance is important. We need to maintain balance between these factors, the internal and the external factors. But due to complexity and the very turbulent environment, very fast changing environment, These variables in the environment reduce the strategic balances. There are certain variables which reduce such strategic balance of the organization. These variables can be competitive market, liberalization, globalization, booms, recession, technological advancement, inter-country relationships all affect business and pose risk at varying degrees. So certain examples of risk are it can be competitive market, it can be the competitive market, it can be liberalization, it can be globalization, the LPG model, the boom sector in the industry can causes various risk, the recession in the market, any technological advances or technological changes introduced in the market can pose a threat, as if people are not updated or upgraded with the new technology, then there may be chances their technology become obsolete and they may be thrown out of the market. So technological advancement, inter-country relationships, and etc., and there can be various other risk factors. So these are a few examples of risk: market, liberalization, globalization, boom, recession, technology. So here, broad classification of the strategic risk that assess consideration. Here, a small table is given below. Here is strategic risk in relation with time, and here there should be a balance of resources. So, time T, time B, balance of resources, internal and external, and risk, strategic risk. So, this can be for short term and long term. If we see this part, for short term and external, when we see in time frame for short term, and if there is an external risk involved, then error in interpreting such environment can cause strategic failure. Your strategy can fail if you're not able to analyze this risk properly. It can lead to strategic failure in the short run. When we deal with external factors over a period of time, for a long term period of time, this can lead to changes in the environment, lead to obsolescence of strategy. Long term, if the external factors are changes and we are not upgraded or updated with such, it can lead to obsolescence of such our strategy. Our strategy can become obsolete. When we are dealing about our internal risk over a short term period of time, our organization's capacity is unable to cope with the strategic demand. We do not have internally the capacity, and the demand is greater than our internal capacity. So our capacity of organization resources are much less, which can lead to problems. So internally, for short term period of time, the capacity might not be able to cope up with demands. And lastly, if our internal factors are more beyond for a long term period of time, it can create inconsistencies with the strategies are developed on account of changes in internal capabilities and preferences. There can be inconsistency between our resources capability, our preferences, internal preferences, and changing market conditions and development. So there can be inconsistency between developed changes in the internal capabilities and preferences. So here there can be four types of risk. There can be strategic failure during short-term period of time when there is external risk. There can be long-term obsolescence of risk when there is long-term and external risk is involved. There can be capacity risk when the organization is not able to cope up with the strategic demand. Our organization capacity is not sufficient during the short-term period of time due to internal risk involved, and there can be inconsistencies in internal capabilities and preferences when there is long-term period of time and internal risk is involved. So, okay, further moving on, this diagram, kindly make it one time. It's very, very, very important. So, time framework of strategic analysis. What is the framework of strategic analysis? External risk is on account of inconsistencies between strategies and forces in the environment. Internal risk occurs on account of forces that are either within the organization or are directly interacting with the organization on routine basis. So external risk consists of all the factors which are affecting an environment which are outside or beyond the scope of organization. But the internal factors which are within the scope of organization, forces that are either within the organization or can directly interacting with the organization, can cause some factors. So while we are analyzing, we take into consideration the external internal factors. So what analysis we do? We do an external analysis of customer analysis. The types of external analysis are customer analysis. We analyze the customer. We do competitor analysis. We check the market analysis and the environmental analysis. So the four factors of external analysis are the customers, the competitors, the market, and the environment. The short form can be CMEC. We have our customer, we have our market, we have our environment, and we have our competitors in such environment. Okay, so the external analysis leads with customer analysis. We divide our customers into various segments, motivations, unmet needs. We try to bring in attract more and more customers toward us. Then there is competitors analysis. We create strategic group or strategic group mapping, which we'll further learn in this chapter. Strategic groups, we divide our competitors into strategic groups based on their performance, what are their objectives, their strategies involved. We learn from our competitors, their culture, their cost structure, and etc. So we do competitors analysis in this sector. We do market analysis. What is the size of market? What is the growth involved? What is the profitability in the market? And the main important, what is the entry barriers to entering into the market? Whether there are any barriers involved. So what are the environmental analysis? These are the technological factors, government factor, economic, cultural, demographical. Whenever we are talking about environment, you can use pestle analysis, PESTEL. Whenever we are talking about environment, you can write about pestle analysis, the political environment, economical, social, technological, economic, legal environment. Okay, now we are talking about the internal analysis. The internal analysis can be of our own performance analysis or the determinants analysis. We can check our internal profitability, our sales, our customer satisfaction, our product quality. What are the cost of our product? Is it in line with the competitors? We can do such internal analysis related to our own performance, new products, human resources. And determinants analysis refers to the past and current strategy. What was our past strategy in relation to our current strategy? What are the changes? Is the changes are more required to revise our strategy? Our strategic problems, any problems which have been created due to such strategy? Organizational capabilities, are there sufficient capabilities in our organization? Do we need more human resource? Financial resources, we require more financial resources or not for funding the organization, the strength and weaknesses. So this was the strategic analysis. We do external analysis related to CMEC, and we internal analysis. Every person wants to achieve PD. A PD. So external analysis, we do CMEC. We learn about our customer analysis, market analysis, environment analysis, and competitor analysis. We do internal analysis on PD, performance analysis, our own internal performance, and the determinants analysis. What are the determinants? Whether it is a financial position, whether it is our own strength or weakness, whether it is our strategic problems or etc. Okay, when we deal with external analysis, these external analysis helps in to gaining some external factors like opportunities and threats in the market. It helps us to look in certain opportunities and threats which are in the market. Do you remember the SWOT? The SWOT, O and T, refers to the external factors, whereas S and W refers to the internal factors. So external analysis helps us to identify more opportunities and threats, the various trends in the market, the strategic uncertainties that might exist in the market, which can lead to a strategic failure. Do you remember the strategic uncertainties point from the limitations of strategic management? Okay, yes. Let's further move on. Through internal analysis, we can find out our own strength and weaknesses of the organization. We can find out various problems. We can identify various problems, some constraints, some indifferences, some uncertainties internally in our organization. This whole strategic analysis helps us in strategic identification and selection process. We identify strategic alternatives through all this analysis. We create more and more strategies and more different plans. Then we find which alternative is best suited. We select such strategy, implement it, and then keep on reviewing it. So strategic identification and selection process involves, first of all, identifying strategic alternatives, the various alternatives. Through all this analysis, internal and external, we create various alternatives. We need to first identify such alternative. After identifying, select it, then implement it, and at last keep on reviewing such strategy. Okay, by this we end the start. We end this topic of strategic analysis. We are further moving on to a very important question, a lengthy one, which is the industry and competitive analysis. Do you remember the two situational considerations when we are conducting a strategic analysis? The first was the industry and competitive condition, the external factors. The external factors which helps us in identifying our opportunities and threats. So the industry and competitive analysis. This is the first analysis which we are going. Industry and competitive analysis can be done using a set of concepts and techniques that get a clear picture on key industry traits, the intensity of competition, the drivers of industry change, the market position, and the strategies of rival companies, competitive success, and profit prospects. It provides a way of thinking strategically about any industry's overall situation and drawing conclusion about whether the industry represents an attractive investment for organization funds or not. So before entering, it is a pre before entering into any industry, it is very important that we conduct industry and competitive analysis. Before entering, we need to make sure that we are aware about the competitors in the market whom we are going to deal, and whether such industry is profitable or not. So the following are the factors or the issues which are involved into industry and strategic analysis. Industry and competitive analysis provides a way of thinking strategically. We are thinking strategically. We are thinking strategically about any industry's overall situation and drawing conclusion about whether the industry represents an attractive investment or not. Whether it is an attractive investment, who are the competitors in the organization. We deal with such factors. So the first factor is the dominant. Well, first of all, I would like to define what is the meaning of industry. So industry refers to 3S. What is the industry? Our industry is 3S. There should be similar. S refers to similar. There should be similar firms. There should be similar attributes. And there should be similar buyers. When we have all these three factors, we can say that buyer. Okay. When we have all these three similar factors, like similar firms, similar attributes, and similar buyer, we can say that that is an industry. For example, if we are talking about medical industry, if the medical pharmaceutical industry have same buyers, the same patients, the same attributes, like they're selling medicines, and the same firms which are involved in such sectors. In jointly, in total, we can say all these factors lead to an industry. So an industry is a representative of factors where there are similar firms, similar attributes, and similar buyers involved. So we are conducting industry and competitive analysis for developing and probing insightful answers to these following 7 questions. I say I can frame a question in this manner. Why we are conducting industry analysis? What are the issues in industry's competitive analysis, or how we conduct industry and competitive analysis? So we conduct for gaining insight. We gain insight. We gain insightful answers to question. Insightful answers to 7 questions. These 7 questions are: dominant economic industry features of industry, dominant economic features of industry, nature and strength of competition, triggers of change, strategic group mapping, likely strategic moves of rival, key success factors, and prospects and financial attractiveness of industry. So these are the 7 factors whom we are going to learn, whom we are going to discuss. So let's begin. We first learned about dominant economic features of industry. Industry, what is an industry? Industry has been defined as a group of firms which have same and similar attributes and compete for same buyer. You can write it is an industry where there are similar firms involved for similar attributes and they're competing for similar buyer. Dominant economic features of the industry. What is the dominant economic features of the industry? These are the factors to consider. The factors to be considered when we are analyzing such industry are the size of the industry, the market involved, the growth rate, the position in life cycle, the product life cycle, PDLC, the product life cycle. If you remember, there are 4 stages of life cycle. We are further going to learn about this. The S-shaped curved product life cycle, the rivals in the industry, the buyers, the profitability, the capital requirement of the industry, and there are various other factors. But these are few examples of the factors, dominant economic features of the industry. So I say I can either ask as a joint question, as a wholesale question, like what are the insights of industry and competitive analysis? What are the factors? What are the determinants? But there can be individual answer on any of these factors. So kindly make sure you remember these examples to quote it down. So after dominant economic features of the industry, we are next going towards the nature and strength of competition. Whenever we are talking about competition, dwelling into the industry's competitive process to discover what the main sources of competitive pressure are and how strong each competitive force is. So for analyzing the nature and strength of competition, we analyze who are the competitors and what competitive pressure that they can provide to the organization. We are simply talking about Potters, like Harry Potter. There is also a Potter in the SM which has given 5 force model, the 5 forces that put pressure on the industry by competitor, the competitive pressure posed by the industry. Potter have analyzed these 5 forces and laid down as Potter's 5 forces model. We are going to learn about this Potter's 5 forces model in business level when we deal individually about all the levels. Further, there is a chapter number 5. There are Potter's 5 forces model. So in short, the Potter has said that there are 5 forces which we need to analyze before getting into an industry. Is first, the firm needs to know, okay, let's talk about Potter's 5 forces model. So Porter has said there are five forces which puts competitive pressure on the industry, and these five forces are: first, the two forces are very similar. First, the bargaining power of buyer. These are the five forces which put pressure on the industry. The bargaining power of seller, the bargaining power of buyer, the bargaining power of the seller, the rivals in our industry. If there are new entrants that can cause some pressure, new entrant into the industry, and lastly, substitutes. If your product has a substitute in the market, then that can create some competitive pressure because it will reduce your profitability. So there are five forces. Porter has indicated five forces. There are buyers, there are sellers, there are rivals into our own industry. There can be some new entrants, some new competitors in entering into our industry, and there can be substitute for the product. So these are Porter's five forces. We are going to learn this in depth in business analysis, business level strategies. Okay, in chapter number 5. So let's go on forward. This was a small gesture about the Porter's five forces which provides competitive pressure. So the nature and strength of competition, Porter's five forces model. Next, one important concept which is coming forward is strategic triggers of change. The triggers of change, these triggers, they are driving forces. These triggers are change. These are what? These are the driving forces that impact and bring changes in the industry structure. They bring a change in the structure of the industry and competitive environment. These forces bring a change in industry and competitive environment. Analyzing these driving forces involve identifying what these driving forces are and assessing their impact. We need to analyze these competitive forces and we need to assess its impact on the industry. So the two steps involved are: first, identify what these driving forces are and assess its impact. These are the two steps of finding triggers of change. These are the two steps. We need to first identify and then we need to assess its impact. So driving forces are those dominant forces. Driving forces are dominant forces. Dominant force. A driving force because they are biggest influencers. These are biggest influencers and what kind of changes will take place in industry structure and competitive environment. Most common driving forces, many events can affect an industry powerfully enough quantity as driving force. Some are unique and specific to a particular industry. There can be some unique driving forces for any particular industry, but many drivers of change fall into general category. The general categories, the examples of triggers of change are, the examples can be internet, e-commerce. E-commerce can be a very big change, as internet has brought a whole change in the system of how working from traditional system from modernized system. As you can see, internet, the e-commerce is a very big change. The globalization, well, industry was only limited to a particular market, but due to globalization it has created an open market in the whole world. There can be product innovation. New product innovation in the market can lead to new changes in the market. The marketing innovation, so we have two innovation. We have product innovation, and we have marketing innovation. We have marketing innovation, we have product innovation, marketing innovation. There can be entry or exit of major firms. If there is entry and exit of major firms, it can lead towards an opportunity also if the major firms are retreating from the industry, or it can be a threat if the major firms are introducing or entering into new sectors. These are the few examples There can be, if there are changes in cost can also be a trigger of change. If the competitors are reducing the cost, then it can be a reason for the company to reduce their own cost and get less profitability to be surviving and competing in the market. So these are the few examples of triggers of change: the internet, the globalization, the innovation of product innovation, marketing innovation, cost. There can be changes in long-term industry growth rate. The growth rate of market might change, which can lead to a trigger of change. These triggers of change lead to revision of strategy. Then the managers need to revise the previous strategy and get in line with the triggers of change. If the organization fails to revise their strategy, they can lead to various risks. So it needs to be make sure that short term, do you remember this part? Short term, when the external factors are affecting the organization, if we do not bring in line with such factors, there can be strategic failure in the organization. Okay, such triggers of change. So we are further going on toward the next point, which is strategic group mapping. This is yet another important question. So, what is strategic group mapping? Strategic group mapping is a technique. This is a technique. This is a technique wherein, for revealing the competitor's position of industry participants, is strategic group mapping. So, what is a strategic group mapping?